everybody. It is Friday, August the 19th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on RU Media Network. Welcome to What the Frick Live, and we got Marianne.
Hey!
Doing what we love, using a fork to brush her hair.
I didn't have anything else around, so this had to do.
Hey, I've used it. I've done it. I have used the fork. Actually, I've also used I went to a camp one time. You know this spaghetti scooper things, like has like little hooks on it. I've used that to brush my hair. So,
whatever works, man.
I know it gets the job done. Your hair looks good. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. We are live here on Facebook. It's cross streamed to different Facebook pages, but we've switched back to StreamYard. So if you leave comments or have any questions and it comes up as Facebook user, please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give StreamYard permission to use your account and or your name in your picture so we can know exactly who it is that's talking on the live stream. So it's kind of creepy to see Facebook user. So please go over there and do that. Also, we are streaming live onto Rumble. And I highly recommend everybody to go over, subscribe to Rumble and ODYSEE, ODYSEE, ODYSEE. Amazing platforms. We're not censored over there on either one. So a lot of people are switching to these places because we're sick and tired of the censorship that we're getting on social media platforms. And actually, my phone is on. I don't know if you all heard any of that. I need to turn my phone off. I'm sorry if you heard that. So anyway, how are you doing this week, Marianne?
It's been a busy week, but it's been a good week. How about you?
It's been a great week. It's gone by so fast.
It really did.
Are flying by because we were talking about this a little bit. The sun shifted this week. If anybody noticed, it's like that fall sun is starting to come out already.
There's nothing like it. I love it. I love it.
I love it. And it goes into September, October, and we're going to have amazing shows coming up. And also, I just want to let everybody know, Penny L.A. Shepherd, we're going to be doing a series with her second Wednesday of every month coming up. And we're going to be we're deep diving in MK Ultra, CIA mind control. So Penny's amazing and awesome, and we're thankful that's going to be happening. But tonight we have a show going on with one of my dear friends, Josh the Animal. I like the Animal. It reminds me of Muppet Babies. I want to know if Josh plays music here in a second. But he bang on the drums. But he's worked on many different documentaries. He's super creative. He thinks outside the box. He ties really what we go through. We're going to be talking about a serious subject tonight, suicide awareness, but he ties it to possible paranormal activity too, and he is just a very creative guy. I'm glad I can call him friend, and I'm waiting for his face to pop up, and I'm still trying to feel it. Oh, he's popping up. Okay, hold on, here we go. There's Josh right now. That looks like a Tinder date.
What's up?
What's up?
I had to do
right
it. I had to do it.
Laura's watching. By the way, if anybody's watching right now, please share this out. We went back to StreamYard, Josh, real quick. I don't like StreamYard in the fact that they don't have a good working relationship with Facebook. They cut the reach out. That's why, like, when you have to, like, you gotta have to go in and get permission to use your name and everything. But StreamYard does well on ODYSEE and Rumble. So
that's awesome.
We switched back. So please share this out, everybody. If you're watching, please thumbs up, ask questions. The more questions or more comments you post in the chat, that pushes that out into the newsfeed. And so that helps us out a whole lot. It helps our guest, Josh. It helps our show, and then it helps our network. So please do that. So Josh, how are you doing in Florida?
Oh, sweating. Just sitting here, just sweating away.
Yeah.
Can't help this. I love this humidity.
Well, I love Florida. I would much rather be sweating than freezing cold. I do. I'm waiting for September, October, but really midway in Kentucky, midway into November, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I would be down in Florida in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, and Marianne, you're in North Carolina, right? South
Yeah.
North Carolina. So you have
We
warmer
still-
weather than us, though.
Our winters get pretty cold.
Really?
At least they have lately.
So, Josh, thank you for coming on tonight. It's been almost maybe over a year, right?
Yeah, it's been over a year since I've last been on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and you've had a lot of life changes and things happen to you and everything.
Yeah.
But the last time I spoke to you, you were doing a big, heavy documentary, heavy emotionally, mentally, physically documentary called Through Hell and Back. And we're going to get to that here soon. But you have a new baby.
Yes, she's 9.5 months, almost
Aww.
10 months. So, yeah, she's awesome. She's my best friend, and yeah, we're inseparable.
That's sweet.
Well, what I like about you the most, Josh, is that you tie serious topics in that could possibly be tied to paranormal activity too. And it's topics that it's really hard to talk to because, I was going to try to be part of that, remember?
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to even, and I talked to my cousins about it and everything because they were more directly affected by suicide than I was. But very serious topics that's going on, and it's no one else has done it. So I know you've had a baby and everything, and life's busy. I think that you need to still continue to pursue that. And we're gonna play some clips here a little bit later on, but with suicide awareness and paranormal activity and trying to find answers through all that, because the hardest thing, in my opinion, Josh, you might be able to say, because you've been affected by that too. Marianne, you've been affected by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, this just hit me. Marianne's been affected by suicide too.
Well, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of funny you talk about that. It's just it's kind of due to this whole craziness going on and having a baby and all this. I've actually, me and a friend of mine, kind of been doing a little study about the paranormal and EMF and what and how it affects your mind and what it can do to you, especially through suicidalness, that goes on in your life. But yeah, we'll definitely talk and hit it more up in a bit.
I want maybe Marianne here in a few moments if you feel comfortable enough to share your experience too. But so hold on, this is interesting. EMF. Do you think that the people that are you tying this in, like the people that commit suicide might live in homes that have higher EMF fields?
Yeah, I actually just did a case not too long ago.
Wow.
It was up in North Florida. There was I did an investigation. She said she was seeing stuff and things was happening, and it was making her do things that was weird. So I was asking her questions, and then I had them leave, and I did an EMF all around because I'm brought up in construction, so I know a lot about electrical and EMF and anything magnetic in that case. And they had like wires exposed. They had a big electrical box outside the bedroom where they're having a lot of activity. They're having so much stuff that was just pretty much frying their brain, pretty much in a sense that was just making them see things in a way that's like, holy crap, what's this, So in my case of studies, a lot of times with that high EMF going around, especially, exposed, and people don't realize it, that if it's not correctly, wrapped or, covered, you're going to experience things, and sometimes it's going to make you think you're seeing things.
Well, that makes me think about, does 5G, how we're doing all this 5G.
Yep.
It makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
If you know how we investigate and you know how those fields affect the mind, in many ways. Maybe this 5G is more worrisome. I would be interested. I hate to say this, believe me, when I are we going to see more suicides under the 5G than the 3G? It's kind of scary.
It is scary, and it's happening on a daily basis. A lot of people don't realize that it's just right under your nose, where that things happen, with just EMF, and you don't realize it. Like, oh shoot, there's a ghost, and is it really a ghost, or is it something that we're imagining in our mind? That's what I'm trying to figure it out, because being a paranormal investigator for a very long time, it's made me think of there's so much EMF. Like, say if you have an EMF in your cell phone and you go and ghost hunting, a lot of times if your phone goes off in your pocket, the meter will go off. And oh shoot, it's a ghost, but that's not always the case. When you have like I said on Facebook, and I know a lot of people are going to tear me down about it, but when you have so much electronics right next to each other, it's going to cause a lot of, electromagnetic fields around it.
Oh, I agree with you 110%. One of my pet peeves in paranormal investigating is when they are videotaping from their phone on an EMF meter, and it's going all the way up. And then I saw a team. I'm not going to say who they are, but he had his phone in his back pocket, and they had like 5 or 6 EMF meters. Marianne, if you don't know Marianne, you'll have it. Yeah. Oh. Hold on. This is Sasquatch. This is an old one from the 1970s, everybody. My mom got this in the 70s, and that's a Sasquatch doll. So he fell. I'm sorry. But Marianne, if you're not familiar, because she hasn't done a lot of ghost hunting, but you'll see this. This is an EMF meter where it lights up.
Yeah.
And everything. So when you have your phone and everything in the EMF field, it will spike this up. So I was watching a paranormal team that's pretty well known. That the guy had a phone in his back pocket, and then they had like 4 or 5 of these lined up on this table. And when he would walk by, it would shoot up, and they were saying it was a demon following him. Like, it's not a demon. Your phone's in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Because it would literally, it was like magnetic. Like, it was, as soon as he would walk by, and he's just right there, like just a foot from the table with all this. So, that should show you how powerful a phone can be to light up. It would light up almost all the way up. So when you have the phone close to your head all the time, or if you sleep with your phone close to you, what's the aftermath? What's the long-term effects on your brain that could lead to like, I hate to say it, suicide and things.
No, I'm not saying, like, I know people are going to probably say, like, oh, you don't believe in ghosts. I'm like, I believe in ghosts. I come to my house, but it's just a lot of times it's not always a ghost, especially when you go to places like penitentiaries and stuff like that, and you're going to have a lot of electrical exposure that's probably still live in a way, because some places still have lights and stuff like that, so they're going to have live wires and exposure to that. So you're going to get EMF readings in those areas, especially when it's very old.
I mean, I agree with that. Marianne, you got any questions real quick? Because I talk a lot and I don't want to talk that much.
No, you're fine. What is your opinion? So what is your opinion on, because me and my bonus kid were just talking about this the other day. What is your opinion on lights flickering? Like, for example, if a light flickers when one person's in the room, but then it doesn't flicker when someone else is in the room. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, I just a buddy of mine just had that happen with his house, but before that happened, the mirror got thrown off the wall and literally crushed on the floor, and then the light started flickering right after that. And as soon as his daughter went to go shut the light off, before it did, the light exploded.
It hold on, the light bulb actually exploded?
Would it be on camera?
Yeah, before she went to go shut it off.
It exploded.
How old was this house, or was this a light bulb that was used all like there's so many questions here right now.
Because our house does this with me,
but
not with my husband.
But the only question to me is why did the mirror fly off the wall? You know, it was literally nailed to the wall, and it was literally like it was ripped out.
What about Emery wanted to know about poltergeist?
Show Emery. Emery, just pop Emery in real quick. Emery, come on in. This is Marianne's step. Hello, Emery.
Hey.
Go ahead and ask a question. What's the question you want to ask?
I don't really know my ghosts all that well, but like, what about poltergeist? I heard that they throw things around a lot. They're kind of angry.
Yeah, there is poltergeist action that happens. You know, it all depends on if it's in that person's house or not. But yeah, I believe in it. I've seen stuff that's happened that makes me think of kind of like movie stuff. I've actually seen a person being lifted off the floor and slammed on the ground.
Oh.
You know, stuff that only happens once in a lifetime that you ever see.
Yeah.
And you never see that stuff, only in a movie. But when you see it, it's like it kind of makes you think, like, what the hell was that?
Exactly.
Emery, have you seen poltergeist activity?
No. I don't know what type of activity this is considered, but my mom's house, whenever we first got it, she heard like footsteps down the hallway and like right next to her bed. She has a little boy, and on the camera, it captured like an orb in the room. It used to be my room, actually, and it was just all over the camera. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you ever experience anything there yourself?
I saw an old woman or something.
Well, I felt like something was watching me, so I took a photo of the doorway, and later whenever I was zooming in, I thought I saw a face of like a woman.
Oh, wow.
You haven't been scared or anything though, right? Or you feel okay?
Maybe whenever I was younger, but no, it wasn't scary.
Okay.
I mean, whenever you're younger, whenever you feel like someone in the room staring at you, it's pitch black, you get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Inside
joke. What did you just say, Marianne? It said maybe. It sounded like maybe, or
yeah, maybe.
That was an inside joke.
Laura's watching. Thank you, Laura, so much. She's a faithful follower of What the Frick Live. I had a picture that was hanging in my hallway that flew across the hallway one morning when I got up.
Dang.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of that. And when I was younger in the house that I grew up with, and if my mom was watching, I don't know, she said she might try to chime in. But I remember there was a picture over top of the fire mantle place that came off the wall and then slammed down. The whole glass shattered and everything growing up. So my connection or my thought process with this, why? Why does it always seems like a picture or something or a mirror on a wall?
It all depends on the energy. You know, ghosts, they work on energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
EMF. So it all depends on how strong that energy is. Normally, in this case, like here in Florida, normally when like something big in my house happens is after a lightning storm. So from all that energy, I get a lot of activity that happens in my house. Like I'll hear noises. I'll have a door open and shut by itself, or have stuff been thrown in the kitchen out of the refrigerator and put in the middle of the floor nice and neatly. Just some weird stuff like that. But it's all depends on how strong they are from that, magnetic field.
Have you investigated your own home?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
feel about that?
There's a little girl around here. I have a little girl that follows us around. There's also a man that my kids have seen in the room that I'm actually in right now. So, and that's the baby room.
Friendly?
I thought I just heard a
Friendly?
man's
Yeah.
voice, to be honest. Or was I? Did somebody say something that I heard a man's voice?
No.
Anybody else heard a man's voice just like 30 seconds ago? Please make a comment.
We can check the replay.
Yeah, we can go back in the replay.
Like
heard
I
a
said,
man's voice.
stuff comes through, so you never know.
I did not know this about your house.
Yeah.
This is cool.
So, does your wife know about this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How does she feel about it?
She's so used to it. She's so used to it. Like the little girl, she'll actually pop up. You could see her physically. Like
You can see her?
in operation, yeah. She's popped up in the bathroom. When you're brushing your teeth, you know, like sometimes
While
in
you're
living
using the
room.
bathroom?
No, brushing your teeth.
we talked about bathrooms earlier.
You know,
No,
I
that-
had to ask.
That would be pretty freaky if you're on the throne and all of a sudden a ghost pops right in front of you. Literally speaking.
It's like they know when you have coffee.
We know what coffee does.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so hold on now. I'm really interested in your home, Josh.
You want to have the chair?
No, I'm gonna go grab some water.
Have you done videos or anything to put together with your home that's going on?
No, mostly voice recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done any video yet. I want to.
Does it affect the kids?
No.
Okay.
Now back in our old home, the home before this, supposedly my younger kids, they saw it was, I can't remember how they described it, but it was a man with fangs and all that, and it was all bloody, and that they would see it in the backyard or in the closet. But yeah, nothing like that in our new home. This home right now that we live in.
And how long have you lived there?
About 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I had like a lot of back-to-back questions here. Like you got me interested.
No.
Laura says another night I heard a crash in the hallway and a different picture had come off the hook, and a stand with glass figurines on it had been flipped over and nothing was broken. I almost feel like, though, hold on. I think some of these things that get that extreme, I almost feel like it's family oriented. Does that make sense when I say it?
Mm-hmm.
No. You know what's funny about talking about ghosts now? Like, I've had a theory that I've been asking myself, what if they're not ghosts? What if it's something that's in another realm that's like, you know, like Stranger Things. You guys watch Stranger Things,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Or no, not even that. Not even that.
The upside down.
What if there's people in another realm that are there? They see us, but we don't see them. You know
I believe in that realm. I know what those realms are called.
Do they watch us go to the bathroom?
Probably.
Well, no! I come from a Christian point. They watch you in the bathroom. So
I've been there a long time. Sorry.
I love you, Marianne.
I love you too. So, my husband can attest to that. Okay.
And he loves you no matter what. That's a good husband. So, hold on. Because the spiritual world, from a biblical point of view, all right, because I'm a Christian, right? And so from a biblical point of view, the spiritual world is not that far.
No.
When you pass away, in many cases, if you want to look good versus evil, or you're waiting on judgment, there's a place called Sheol in the Bible. It's like a gray area. And then you go to a place called Abraham's bosom, which is similar to heaven, you know, but you know, there's only going to be one judgment. So for me, in the research I've done from a biblical point of view, that spiritual world that we're talking about is like right here on earth. There's just that small, slim, that veil that's there. And not very many people break through that to see it. That makes sense.
Do you believe that when someone passes away, they can always see us, but we can't see them?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Or what if it's people from the future?
What is it, Josh? I'm sorry.
Or what if it's people from the future?
But I don't think that those people have been released yet.
Meaning the other realm.
Well, if it's the other realm, because God knew you before you were in your mother's womb, so that would come from the heavens. So I think that they could see you, but I don't think that we would ever be able to communicate to them until they are birthed into this society and then pass away through it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So they can see us in many ways. I think if we could truly see the spiritual world, because the Bible talks about the spiritual world way more than physical world. So, but if God really wanted us to see that, our minds can't comprehend it. And actually, it might be a little bit terrifying in many ways.
Yeah, you're right. This is going down a tangent here, but it's like, what do you think's happening in this room? Are there probably others in this room with me? In the room way over there? Are there others that we just don't see? Is that the case for every place? Or just some?
Or what if this?
Hold on, real quick. I'll just say this. I don't think we see futuristic spirits. I think those futuristic spirits see us.
Oh, let me ask you this question. Demons. Let me go into that aspect.
Zach Vegas. It's demons.
You open Pandora's box.
Here we go.
I'm gonna open Pandora's box because I know anybody says it's a demon, but not true. But anyways, but like I've had this talk with a lot of pastors and preachers and stuff like that because I'm a Christian also, and I also have a pastor friend that we talk about this all the time. But what if, because it is a spiritual world and a spiritual warfare fighting. What if it is demons that are acting as angels? Because, look at Satan, Lucifer. He acted as he was an angel, right? What if it is demons that are acting like angels that are pretending to be your loved ones?
There's only a certain amount of demons, though. A third of heaven, right? So those demons are the long. This is where the gift of discernment comes in.
Yeah. You
really have to have a gift of discernment and prayer over. I do believe demons can act as loved ones. They can mutate. They can be that way. But there's only a third of the heavens that fell with Lucifer at that time. So a lot of these demonic entities, in my opinion, are not necessarily that personable. They are over land, if that makes sense. They're land-dwelling demonic hierarchies. And if you are in an area that might have a Jezebel, well, everything has Jezebel, but if you're over drugs, all right, in my area, we were the number one area in America for drug overdose. We were called the drug overdose capital of the nation. If you get Netflix and you listen to or watch heroin, that's my town. The brown bag ladies go to my church. So the demons that fell with Lucifer, they can't be omnipresent. They can't. But they can rule over areas. My problem is this. What are the people linking up to when it comes to paranormal activity? This is why I'm not drawn to big, huge locations, because the people can actually bring in those demonic entities to like Waverly. Like, I've never been to Waverly. I'm in Kentucky. Waverly's an hour and 15 minutes for me. Like, you've never been to Waverly? No, because I don't know what the people that's going in and out are carrying with them, what's
Yeah.
authentic or not. So I think when it comes to demonic entities, unless that person is streamlined into that land dwelling demonic individual, which can happen, then there would be connection there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think so? I don't know. Marianne, what do you think? Marianne, we haven't talked demons.
No, we haven't. I don't know. The concept of them scares me. I'll tell you that. I'd rather, have a ghost around, I think, a friendly one. But yeah, I mean, I've never experienced what I would call that type of activity. But then again, do you really know?
I have when I was 13 years old.
Well,
What
I'd love to
happened?
hear
Tell
about
us.
it.
Yeah, tell us the story. We're ready. You got us right now. I'm
It
listening.
was when I first became a Christian. I never really talk about this. It was probably the most scariest time to be a Christian. I was in a youth group, and we were doing some prayer, and there was a lot of praying going on, actually. After I gave my life to Christ, I went outside. For some reason, I went outside, as I remember, and it was dark. There was like nothing but street lights and stuff, and very dark. And I went outside by myself. It was the most weirdest thing ever, and it's like I felt like this overwhelming come on to me. Like I was being like something was grabbing my chest, and like I could barely breathe. And I kept walking, and the lights behind me kept dimming, and I started seeing these weird dark shadows coming towards me, and I started hearing little voices, like little growls of voices, like coming behind me. And I'd walk more, and I'd walk more, and more. I found more following me and surrounding me. And I went to what I remember, I went to the end of the road, and everything just went dark. And I passed out on the middle of the road. And one of the ladies, she was like a mom to me, one of the youth pastors, and came to me and started praying, and I just like it was like the most weirdest feeling, like something was like trying to drain me and attack me, and all I remember was seeing these like dark shadows over me, like trying to reach me because like I was a new Christian, just like they didn't want that to happen because they knew something good was going to happen. They were trying to stop it. And I'll never forget that. I never tell a lot of people about it because they're like, oh, that's not demons and stuff like that. But it was, because it was the most scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. As a 13-year-old, a teenager.
Well, I hate to say, during puberty stages and stuff, that's where demonic activities happen the most. Like especially with poltergeist activity.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie was talking about poltergeist activity. Most of the time, if you do any research about poltergeist activity, it's mostly with females, and it's mostly during the puberty stages between 11 and 14 years old, and it usually deals with fire too. I don't know if you've researched anything like that, Josh. Doing that, I've worked a couple poltergeist cases here in Kentucky, and all that was the check. That was the commonality in what I researched. So that's a very vulnerable time for any child, middle school ages.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that you would have something like that happen to you during that time.
Yeah. And ever since that, my life pretty much, I mean, my life has always been a roller coaster. Let's be honest. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. I have seen them after that, as an adult, seeing them, but it's not like scary anymore like it was when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like it intrigues me in a way, because like I've been kind of studying them kind of in the way where I want to help people, to to help them be free from that.
Well, speaking of help, Mary, I'm going to have you follow. I want to play because, you know, you and I became close because you've had a suicide experience, Josh. I did too. Marianne does. Maybe we can share a little bit of each of our stories here in a moment, because we became connected when you were doing a documentary called Through Hell and Back, and it was magnificent. You have 1 or 2 episodes out on YouTube, and two episodes now through Hell and Back. And I know a lot of things have happened with you with the baby, and that's what. Hold on, it's not going to let me share this.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy. Hold on. Let me see if it does it this way. Here, it's going to let me share it this way. Hold on. Make sure I get the audio. Here it is. I think this is a sizzle reel that you put together. Josh, everybody's going to be able to hear us talk when this plays. I'm going to make sure I can pull it up, though. You all see it?
Oh, that's the very first one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, though. All right. So hold on. Let me play it.
I don't think I can hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it either.
You can't hear it? Okay, I stopped sharing it. Let me try it one more time. Hold on. Let me see here. Share screen, share audio. I had all this set up, and you all know the trouble we had when we first started going, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do it this way. Bring it in. This is on Chrome. Let me do it this way. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's try it this way. Y'all see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me if you hear the noise or not.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I just hope that she's, up in heaven and not in pain anymore. Because for someone to do something like that, they must have been in so much pain. They say that when someone commits suicide, it takes that pain that they were feeling and spreads it out to all the people who love them. And that's very true, because that's a pain that never goes away. That's a pain that never gets better. I think some days are better than others, but if you sit around and think about it, like, it's just heartbreaking,
Josh, man. That one thing that guy said, like, that's the truth.
Do you mind, do you know who it was that had committed suicide? He said it was a she.
It was his girlfriend.
I wonder, did he ever say what was making her so sad?
I think, if I remember right, I think it was she took her own life.
Did he know why maybe she did, or did he just not know what was causing her to hurt so much?
I don't think he really knew inside. I think she just did it. And one day he came home and she was on the floor. It happened so fast, as I remember. But yeah, it was a very sad time for him. And suicide is not a thing to mess with. It happens everywhere, and a lot of the loved ones go through it and stuff like that. And the crazy part is, people I've talked to, over through hell and back and stuff like that. There's people that will pretend that they're happy, but they're not really happy. They're actually depressed and not realizing that they're going through hard times, in their lives.
What I know with suicide awareness, because I've, my uncle committed suicide, that only person that ever committed suicide in our family. So I've gone through this now. It's absolutely a different mourning. And most of the time, the people will not tell you that they are thinking this way, and they act happy.
Yeah.
They do. And then when they do what they do, you almost like go through your mind over and over and over again, way, even after the funeral, like years later, like he said this or she said that, and that should have been a red flag. It sticks with families a lot longer than any kind of like accident or cancer or anything like that. A suicide death, and I hate to say this, I'm just being completely honest here. Before my uncle committed suicide, when people would say he committed suicide or she committed suicide, I did not understand that. I did not relate to them. Obviously I'm going to be there for my friends or family that went through that and everything. But until it hits you in your own circle, you will never get it. You'll never understand. And it's a major hit. And you almost blame yourself for many years. I should have called him, or I should have read through the lines or something. Like,
well, Emily, I'm going to just say, people that are going to commit suicide, they don't act sad. Okay, they don't tell people their plans. They act like some of the happiest people in the world. So you can't blame yourself. You really can't. They're not going to tell you if they plan on taking their own life. They won't.
But I don't know, Josh, if you thought about this, but it's like the people that because we're dealing with narcissism in many ways too. Because when you break free from a narcissistic relationship or a relationship with just in general, that's one of the things that locks you in. Because once you break through, they're going to say, I'm going to die. I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to overdose. I'm going to do all this stuff. I find that those people don't actually do it. It's the people that are what Marianne was talking about, are happy that you do, they don't sound any different. They go through their day-to-day routine. They don't proclaim that suicide threat.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you experienced this personally, Josh. So did that happen? Did the person that committed suicide in your family to start you on this journey of documentary, did they proclaim that? Like, did you know?
You mean like did they know that they committed suicide, or
no? Did you know that they were going to do that? Like, did they proclaim it to you over and over and over that they were going to do it?
No.
Marianne, I know you experienced it. Did it happen to you?
My mom's dad took his own life when I was probably 7 or 8. And no, nobody knew. Of course, in his case, he was drunk. He was drinking during that time. So we always said he probably wasn't in his right mind. He was also grieving the death of his wife, and he had a lot of regrets a lot of regrets on how he had treated her and things he had done in the past that had hurt her. And he almost felt like he was the reason that she had an aneurysm. So, but no, nobody expected him to go that far.
Real quick, I don't want to talk too much about this, but my uncle was the same way. And my aunt took care of everything. And she passed away in February. And then 2 weeks later, during Valentine's Day night, my uncle committed suicide. He shot himself. He even told his son, because his son was trying to take the gun away from him, and he's like, what do you think I am? That's stupid. I'd kill myself, shoot myself. So no one talks about elderly suicide. I will say that. I didn't expect it. I talked to my uncle like 3 days before this happened, and then we tried to push him to go do some things with us, and he wouldn't do it. He didn't want to leave the house. But when they lose their lifelong partner, my uncle had been married to my aunt for 62 years. It's unexpected. And so that's why I'm saying this is my point, is a lot of the natural, I hate to say natural, but a lot of the common suicides that you will never know. So I also hate to say this because it's a double-edged sword in many ways. The people that want to put you or pin you in a place, like, if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. Usually they don't do it. The people that don't even talk about it or try to be happy, like my uncle says, do you think I'm stupid enough? And do you think I'm going to shoot myself? That's the people that do this. And it's lifelong. It's lifelong, and this is super serious. I'm putting the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And Josh, I'm just going to tell you this. Because you've had your own personal experience with this, and you doing this stuff, you need to continue with this. You do. I know life gets busy and everything, and I do have Through Hell and Back a little bit. I want to play some of this from YouTube. I think this is a calling for your life. I really honestly think that you need to continue with this. On it, 110%. Like I've never feel this confirmation so strong in my heart, and I'm thankful that you're doing it. So I'm gonna. Can you see this now?
Yep.
Okay, I want to play a little bit of this because this is Christy Ayers. We'll play like 2 or 3 minutes of it, and to go in. This is your first episode, right?
I think so.
I think it's first episode. All right, let's play a little bit of it. 2 to 3 minutes. And by the way, I'll just tell you both, they can hear us talk. So some of my videos, it mutes us, but they can hear us talk. So here we go.
When life gets hard, we tend to give up. Sometimes you think life is over. You are about to hear some incredible stories, so sit back, relax. This is Through Hell and Back.
So, my name is Christy, and I'm going to tell you about my life. I'll just let the emotion go, because you can see what these kinds of things do to people. I'm going to start by saying that I did grow up in an abusive household, and I think that is an important part in why I ended up in a lot of places that I ended up and doing a lot of things that I ended up doing. So when I was 14 years old, I basically made the decision to go and live with my father because my parents had been divorced since I was 2. Things weren't exactly the greatest there either. And when I turned 14, I met Brian.
You know, I think the more and more life goes on, you know, there's so many people who are hurting. So many people that just want to take their own lives. And no one will do anything about it. But I am hoping that this message will reach people.
I'm going to stop it there. That's, Josh, that's really good. This is a dark, truthful topic. It's extremely serious.
And it's needed. This is so needed. I'm so glad that you're doing this because, you know, like Emily said, there's people out there that act very happy, silly even, try to make everybody else laugh, but their mind is saying, I want to die, and nobody else knows. So the fact that you're speaking on this, and I think it's amazing. And I think it's something that's needed, and it's not really talked about enough.
No, and it isn't, and it's sad because right now, you know, between COVID and all that stuff and hardship times with money, and people are struggling right now, and I couldn't imagine, like, of all the crap that's going on in their lives and stuff like that, people, you know, losing people from COVID or some heart attacks or car crashes or just people take their own lives because they can't afford something, you know, food on the table. Excuse me. But it's just sad just the people I talk to pretty much almost on a daily basis have conversations of just people struggling. And it's sad. It's not like it, you know, like it used to be, you know, and things are getting worse. And it's only gonna get worse, you know, I hate to say, because there's people out there that just don't have the will to live anymore because they're like, well, you know, with everything that's going on between war and all that stuff and everything that's going on right now in the news, you know, it just could go on and on. People get depressed. People get sad. People think there's no, you know, there's no good to it at the end. There's no light at the tunnel. They think there's nothing good's going to come out of it. But here's the thing, though, and this is the pastor part of me. You know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there is. Don't give up. People who are listening and watching, you know, I'm not trying to preach to you or anything like that, but I'm trying to, the word of knowledge, I would say, from the animal. You know, just don't give up. You know, life is short. You know, you have loved ones. You know, if you're short money or anything like that, or don't give up. Keep going. You know, there's people out there that will care about you. Trust me. I thought there was nobody out there who would even give a crap, you know, after I went through all my crap back then, you know, but there was that one person that still stuck around.
Always that one person.
That stuck around me, you know. It was at a bar. It was because I was depressed when I was going through my divorce and stuff like that back then. Mm-hmm. But he stuck around and he was there for me, you know, no matter what. My one friend, he was always there. And there's always a person there for you, you know, and, you know, God is always there. You know, don't give up. You know, life is short to give up.
I always said in my lowest of times, no matter what, tomorrow I'll be okay. Next week I'll be okay. Next month I'll be okay. And this time next year I'll be okay. It'll be okay. And this is something I would say over and over again with prayer and listening to praise and worship music and everything, because, you know, life is overwhelming. And if you sit and let all these external avenues of negativity, stop listening to the news, everybody, please. stop. Like anything that's doing fear tactics, negative stuff, just stop listening to it. Get with yourself and know that there's a higher calling and a higher plan. And no matter what, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I don't know if that'll help everyone, but Marianne, have you ever gone through anything like that? Like where you were at the lowest of lows, and what helped you? Probably coffee, bring you out of it.
More than you realize. More than you realize. A little bit of my story, and I won't go too far into detail. When I was an adult, there was a person that I never met that I really wanted to be part of my life. And I tried, and this person ended up rejecting me. And this person's spouse told me I was a mistake. And from that point on, this person, their family also claimed Christianity. And I was like, well, if this person that I wanted so bad just to love me and give me a chance says that I'm a mistake, and why should I even live? So I get it. It's really hard sometimes. It's still hard. It's still hard to get up every day and know that you're not loved by someone that you wish would, and that you're pretty much just despised for existing when you didn't ask to be here,
Yeah.
So it's like there are those key people. For me now, it's my husband, my bonus kid. I mean, they're probably the top two that keep me going. And my animals. I mean, I've got 8 zillion animals, but
Donkey had a baby too.
Yeah, my donkey just had a baby.
Oh.
So, but that keeps me going, because I'm like, okay, I still have a reason to get up every day. But it's hard. I have faced so much rejection, so much hatred, criticism, not being wanted. It sucks. It's hard, and I hate it. But at some point, you just have to learn to accept it.
Yeah.
You're not a mistake, Marianne. You got me crying over here like you're not a mistake. I love you. You came in my life.
I love you too.
In a time I needed some positivity. Like, you're not a mistake. Nobody's a mistake. All right.
No.
Everybody. I knew I was going to get a little bit emotional tonight because that's how I am. But Marianne, thank you for telling us this. Really. Josh, thank you for doing what you do.
Yes.
Thank you.
You need to keep doing this. You need to. You really do.
I appreciate that.
Nobody else is talking about it. Nobody else is putting this out there. You're super talented and gifted, and you put these videos together. And
absolutely. And I want Emery to see his video too. I want her to see it. Because it's inspiring. It really is.
Check episode 2. It's a little different than the first one. There's a lot more stories to it, and there's one particular where a good friend of mine that I went to high school, and he's a pastor, and he's not pastoring anymore because he went through a lot of hell, I could say. One of them was his wife lost a child at birth, and that was hard from him. And just, you got to watch it, because it made me, just interview him, it made me tear up a lot, because he was one of my good friends in high school, and he still pretty is, no matter what. Even if we don't talk for a year, when we catch up, it's like we're best friends again. It's like one of those friendships. And you'll have to check out episode 2, because it's pretty intense.
Now, I have Through Hell and Back on Facebook. Anywhere else that people can see this, or
on YouTube? You can go on my YouTube channel.
What's the name of the channel?
I deleted it.
I think it's Animal Live.
Animal Live. I think that's what it is too. Here, I have your Facebook page here too. The Animal Live on that too, Josh. So
Yeah, the second one, yeah, I think it's like 45 minutes, but check it out. It's just released in about I think 5 months ago, 5, 6
Yeah, I
months
saw
ago,
that.
not long
Yeah, I
ago.
saw that long ago. I remember
So
watching it. Well, I appreciate everything you do. Obviously, you'll have me in tears, is what Laura said. I knew this was going to be a high tense interview this evening because the topics hit home to me. I knew it hit home to Marianne, and also Josh. I know what you went through. So we need to just bring this to the forefront and help those that feel that they are all alone and have no way out, which they don't have no way
yeah,
out. We love you. I don't care. Someone loves you. You are wanted. You are accepted. Like, don't do that, because personally, me going through that with my family, it's something that I hold dear to my heart, that I think I should have done something, and that's always going to be there. It just always is.
yeah.
So National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Please call that line if you feel like you don't have anybody in your family. Or I would be confident enough to say, message Marianne, message me, message Josh. Like, we're here for you. You're not alone.
No, you're not.
Definitely. Nobody's alone. So Josh, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We
Thank
appreciate
you. Thank you for having me.
and your hard work in putting this to the forefront. I think you should continue on with part 100.
You never know.
We need this, and thank you everybody for tuning in. So please share this out just to your own personal page, because Facebook has censored me in many ways. So this will help on Facebook. We're also live on ODYSEE and Rumble. Please go over there. Follow What the Frick Live, just WTFrick Live on Rumble. Also on ODYSEE, What the Frick Live on there, because these are platforms that are non-censored platforms. And so at least all of our shows will be on there. And I think you're going to see a lot of people tuning into those here in the near future. So next week we'll be live here again at RU Media Network at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Brett Johnson, the original internet godfather. What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Lumberjack.
Lumberjack? Say hello to Lumberjack. He looks all bundled up, like he doesn't belong in the pork. He does. And here I'll just put my EMF meter. That's all I got is my EMF meter. Or no. I got my his nose came off. I pinned it.
His nose.
I got my my mom's Sasquatch that my aunt, she passed away last year, gave her from the 1970s. So this is Sasquatch from the 1970s, everybody.
That's awesome.
Okay. But we'll be back live here again next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Brett Johnson, the internet godfather. He worked with Secret Services. If you have Netflix, please go watch the documentary of the internet, the web of lies, not lives, lies. The web of lies on Netflix. He'll be on with us next week here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RU Media Network. Thank you so much, Josh. We love you. Marianne, awesome. Always. So we'll see y'all next time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Friday. Y'all have a great